Thank you all for being here today on this busy Monday afternoon. My name is Tanya. I am a senior admissions counselor here at Palo Alto University, and I work mainly on recruitment for the MA in Clinical Mental Health Counseling program, as well as the undergrad program. You likely will speak to me at some point or another if you have questions about the program or admissions in general. I'm super excited to be here hosting this Career Paths in Counseling event. And I'm very excited to also be joined by two of our alumni of the program, Morgan and Diller. Morgan is currently trying to get home, so she's on a walk. She's not going to introduce herself just right now, but we'll give her an opportunity to speak and to introduce herself in a bit. Diller, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Taylor Bilgin, and I'm delighted to be here today. And I graduated in August 2022 from a hybrid program from PAU, so which allow me to blend online learning with valuable in-person experiences. Throughout my academic journey, I have focused on both track, LMFT, licensed marriage and family therapist, and as well as LPCC. I complete dual track program. Currently, I am honored to serve as an AMFT and APCC at Trust Mental Health, a private clinic dedicated to providing compassionate care to our community. Our clinic based in California, where I have the privilege of working alongside a dedicated team of professionals. So I'm passionate about helping individuals and families navigate through life challenges. And thank you for allowing me to introduce myself, Tanya, and I look forward to engaging with all of you today.
Of course. Thank you so much, Diller, for being here again. I'll go ahead and get us started. First question is, why did you choose Palo Alto University for your counseling degree?
Okay, such a great question. Palo Alto University stood out to me for several compelling reasons. Firstly, PAU's accreditation by CACREP, like as you know, maybe Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs, assure me of the program's high standards and commitment to quality education. And one of the unique features that also drew me to PAU was the opportunity to pursue a dual track within the counseling program. This flexibility allowed me to tailor my education to my specific interest and career goals, and enhancing the overall depth and breadth of my learning experience. So moreover, the hybrid format offer by PAU was particularly appealing to me. Balancing my studies with other commitments was made significantly more manageable thanks to the flexibility afforded by this format. And so lastly, I can tell the welcoming and supportive environment and at Palo Alto University play a significant role in my decision. From my initial interaction with the faculty and staff to the sense of among students, I felt valued and supported every step one of the way. So this nurturing atmosphere foster a sense of belonging and enable me to thrive both academically and personally. In short, CACREP accreditation, dual track option, hybrid format, and welcoming environment collectively made it the ideal choice for me to pursue my counseling degree.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diller. That was super helpful. Also, I realized we have two Morgans here and I got a little bit confused. Morgan, I do see you now. Did you get a chance to hear my question?
Yes, I did. Following along, yes, the K-CREP was one of the primary reasons why I applied to PAU. Second reason was, I work full time. And so the online, I graduated with an MA in counseling when I was a student there, emphasis in clinical mental health. And the online program definitely helped me with balancing work full time and attending school. And I also had a colleague at my job who was graduated from PAU too. So knowing somebody from there and also being a prospective student and sitting in on the panel as you all are, that also inspired me to apply for PAU. And last year I graduated with my master's degree, so time flew by super fast. But definitely the feasibility and the affordability were also the primary factors in attending PAU as a student.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next question, can you both speak to a little bit about what your experience was like at PAU, and maybe more specifically, also your experience in the practicum and the internship portion of the degree?
Do you want me to go first, or Morgan, you like to answer this question first?
Yeah, I could go ahead. I think I have, yeah, I need to leave at 4:30. I'm facilitating a group then. But as far as my experience at PAU, very supportive environment. Again, with the online format, that was super helpful. And also I was given the opportunity to attend, we call a summer intensive for one of the classes. I think it was crisis and trauma. So being able to also interact with the fellow peers and my cohort, that was also a great experience. And then also when it comes to the school working with my, because a lot of personal things came up in my personal life. So they were able to support me when I needed to take a leave of absence. And I felt very worried in those instances that, okay, I might not graduate on time, et cetera. But the school board has been very supportive in that process. And I still graduated on time within the 2-year time frame that I wanted to complete. And so not just them, but the faculty, in particular, 2 professors come up in my mind as far as the support that I received throughout the 2 years of attending. I'll speak briefly on the internship and practicum experience. When I was a prospective student sitting in the alumni panel or observing the alumni panel, I was told, or I heard that it is nearly impossible to work and do practicum and internship at the same time. I did that in my master's degree. So I worked as well as I attended 2 practicum sites at the same time of being at work. So anything is possible. That's basically my advice to you. Yeah, it might feel difficult to work as well at the time that you reach practicum and internship, but at the same time, it is possible. I honestly, in my experience, when it comes to finding options of practicum and internship, PAU is very supportive on providing the options out there for you to seek whatever you're interested in, whether it's working in the community based setting. There are plenty of options out there. Primarily, I could speak mostly for the state of California out here. It's the faculty are super supportive in helping you find a good fit for you based on your interests. So I'd like to really emphasize that piece as well. As far as the population that I was at, I was a counselor on campus working with elementary school youth. And I was also working with adults in custody. So it's a shift in dynamics, but at the same time, it was a breadth of experience that I was able to gain to where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Thank you. Diller?
Right. So yeah, we're similar to Morgan. So maybe I'll add a little bit more my personal experience. My experience at PAU was incredibly enriching because the program fostered a supportive learning environment where I felt encouraged to explore new ideas and challenge myself. So all the coursework was engaging and opportunities for hands-on experience since I also joined in-person classes, and throughout my coursework was very valuable for my career. So my practicum and internship experience, as Morgan mentioned, definitely school provide the long list. I can apply for internship and practicum, and the process was quite smooth and easy at that time. I also did two I was also had a two placement, practicum internship placement, two different experience, but both, even though I had two, the process was quite smooth, and our supervisors was quite helpful for me to complete all the documentation and the process. It needs to be done timely. So one of my primary placements I was involved in was as youth and family services. It helped me to work with a range of settings like age groups and cultural backgrounds, and enrich my understanding of mental health care. It was a community mental health care. And the placement I involved was SERI. That also helped me to get 2 grants from Alameda County Behavioral Health. Maybe I also got to a grant through that placement, so that enabled me further expand my clinical expertise and community outreach efforts at the same time. So overall, my practicum and internship experience was instrumental in shaping my clinical skills and deepening my understanding of diverse population, and preparing me for a rewarding career in counseling by the help of the PAU staff and 2 placements.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. So next question is, what is your current position and what populations do you work for or work with?
So I can shortly answer. Currently, I'm working as an AMFT and APCC at Trust Mental Health, which is a private clinic based in California. I do work, I do provide telehealth and in-person session. My office in Fremont, where I live also. So I have a privilege of working with a wide range of populations with this clinic, including individuals, couples, and families from diverse cultural backgrounds. I specialize in providing therapy for issues such as anxiety, depression, trauma, relationship difficulties, and adjustment problems, and also as well as improving life qualities by improving mental health.
And as myself, I currently work in a forensic setting, so I'm a forensic clinician. Primarily, that's my role, and then I also work with as a clinician at a residential part-time. But as a forensic clinician, I work with an agency that's a national agency. So we work with my caseload right now is working with clients on parole. Primarily with the state and government as far as providing services to adults. I also run juvenile programs as an AMFT, working with justice-involved youth right now and emerging adults. So that's my primary population. And then my other agency that I work part-time at, I provide services for those who are high risk, so recently discharged from the hospital for suicidal thoughts and attempts. So I provide support for them as well as their families, and do couples counseling if needed as well.
Great, thank you both. Can you speak to maybe some of the skills and the knowledge that you learned throughout this program that you found most useful in your career so far?
So I can go. The program at PAU actually equipped me with a solid foundation in evidence-based practices, effective communication techniques, and ethical decision making. So those skills have been instrumental in my career and enabling me to build rapport with my clients and tailor treatment plans to their specific needs, and also navigate ethical dilemmas with confidence.
Okay, for myself, I guess one of the biggest things was it really helped me learn about myself. The program, it's a lot of self-reflection. It prepares you for a lot of that in the classes and the coursework, a lot of learning more about who you are. And, there's a lot of opportunities to do that through and I was reading one of the chats here as far as the online format. It's not primarily lecture based. It's a lot of discussions, whether it would depend on the professor, but most of my experience has been interactive with talking among peers, discussion based questions online, in class, and outside of class. But it really prepares you to do a lot of the work yourself and a lot of the healing. So that's something that I want to emphasize with the program and how supportive it's been through that. And then as far as the practicum and internship, I could share from my experience that it really helped me see that there's a lot of opportunity out there, whatever track you want to go to as a counselor, clinician, therapist. There's a breadth of directions that you could go. For example, my supervisors, I had multiple different supervisors based on my sites. One of them was a Jungian analyst. So that's one kind of avenue when it comes to the approach for therapy. And then another one was more family systems based. And then another one was more strength based and more CBT approach focus. So you'll get a lot of experience depending on your practicum site, as well as your interactions with other peers in your cohort and with learning from the professors at school.
Yeah, thank you so much for highlighting that. I did see a question in the chat for Morgan. I know you have to leave in a few minutes, so I do want to direct this to you. It says, did you know that you would pursue a career as a forensic clinician while you were studying?
Okay, I honestly did not know I would end up here. I've been in the mental health field for about 5 years before I went back to went back for my master's. I worked with crisis with at-risk youth as well. That's kind of what I was naturally drawn to, working with folks with, I guess, colorful personalities. Just there's a lot of complexities in their life. And, there was a period where I was like, you know what, I just want to work with folks long-term and, kind of go in a different route in private practice. And I did have the opportunity to try that out. And I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. Let me go back to, what I'm more drawn to. And it was my internship, the opportunity that was offered by PAU to work with adults in custody. And then when I did that, I was like, okay, this is where I want to be at. And then, yes, it was a challenge working with adults in those settings. So I was like, let me take a step back and see how I could provide support for this population in an outpatient setting. So that's where I'm at today. And yeah, we'll see if I shift over to another direction later on. But right now that's where I'm ended at. But
Awesome. Thank you so much. I want to squeeze in one more question if you can answer in a minute. Do you just have any advice for people that are currently thinking of applying or that are in the process of applying for this program?
a couple notes. I feel like I said it before, just if you have any doubts, as long as you believe that you could do it and get through school, as well as just managing whatever else you're going through in your life, it is possible. Again, I was told, it's quite impossible to work and do practicum and internship at the same time, yet I was able to do that. And time goes by fast with the master's program. And I would also say, an advice that I received from one of my professors was take your time when it comes to the practicum and internship period. Don't be in a rush. Yes, you might be eager to graduate, but at the same time, it's like embrace, the program as it is. And, if you need extra time to finish, then that's completely okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Morgan. I'll let you go, but I appreciate you being here today. And I will speak to you soon. Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome. Okay, Diller, same question for you. Do you have any advice for anyone currently considering applying for the program?
Yeah, I would encourage all of you to take advantage of every opportunity for learning and growth. So and I know PAU is a very good program, has a very good program, and it also very you can seek out any diverse clinical experience through PAU, engage with your peers and professors, and it's also a place you can all the time ask for support when you need. So when you, and also guys, you consider applying to PAU or a similar program, I would say trust in your passion for helping others and believe in your ability to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those you serve. Pursuing a career in counseling is incredibly rewarding, and with dedication and perseverance, and you can achieve your goals. It takes time, but with patience and commitments, yeah, the time passed quickly.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Diller. That's going to be the last question that I ask. I will open it up to everybody if you have specific questions for Diller as an alumni here. As I mentioned before, I'm a current student, so I can answer any student-based questions. I'm also an admissions counselor. So if you guys have admissions specific questions, I will stay past the hour to talk to anybody that wants to talk about that. But yeah, feel free to ask your questions or unmute yourself. Ben?
Yeah, we just judgment. I was wondering, to the license, you have to take it after 3,000 hours. How many hours do we get through the program before we need to find some by ourselves?
Sure, I'll go ahead and take this one, Diller. Yeah, so it is 3,000 hours post-grad. You do 700 hours within our program. That's the minimum that we require. You can do up to 1,300. If you're thinking of doing the MFT, then those hours would transfer over into the post-grad hours, but for the LPCC, you do have to start over once you graduate. So that's
Over like the 700 don't count for PCC?
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if you do both?
Then you would have to do the 3,000 in order to qualify for the LPCC, but for the MSP, you
Okay.
get those hours a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Can I ask a clarifying question on that one? Is that for California specifically? Because I believe in Washington State, for instance, the rules are a little different, and some of the time that you do in your practicum can count towards that.
Yeah, so for different states, there are different requirements. I definitely recommend checking the licensure websites for your specific state. Most of the information that I'll be giving is specific to California. Thank you for asking. Catherine?
Hi, I actually work as a case manager for the mental health in the judicial system. I was actually asking regarding the hours, if those hours can be met through my job.
It'll really depend if your job will be considered like an approved site. You would have to work with our practicum and internship coordinator to make sure that they meet all of the requirements in order for those hours to count. Specifically within our program, afterwards, it's really going to depend on the state level if your clinical site has an associate counselor position for you and a supervisor to actually supervise those hours.
Okay, thank you.
Course. Let me check the chat. Okay, Kate?
So
Hi.
Tanya, my name is Philip. I'm in the library.
Hello, Philip.
I
I misunderstood. I thought it was on campus. So I already have my master's degree in psychology and counseling, did a double major a long time ago. And I wanted to speak to someone to show my transcripts and all that kind of stuff and say, okay, what do I need to do now? How can I do that?
Sure. I will leave my email in the chat if you want to just email me directly and then we can set up a time to talk.
Okay. Do I have your address yet?
Can you see the chat by chance?
I don't know.
Oh, I missed this, yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, there's a chat here.
Okay, perfect. I will put it in the chat for you. And
Okay,
if you want to just email me directly, then we can set up a time to talk, okay?
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, Kate, you had a question?
Oh, I actually potentially would be better to email you. It's more of an individual question on timeline. I was just wondering because I was wondering how often the interviews happen, I guess, because I'm waiting on my transcripts to be processed by SciCast, and I just want to make sure timelines work out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as you get your application before the deadline, you should be fine to interview if you meet all of those requirements. But yeah, if you want to email me directly, we can definitely talk.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. Tamlin?
Hi, good afternoon. I had a question regarding why the program is the length of time that it is, just because I'm really interested in Palo Alto University, but some of the other schools I'm looking at have a full 3-year program versus, if I'm not mistaken, the PAU program is 9 quarters or 11 quarters. When does the practicum internship start during that time period?
Yeah, the practicum and the internship starts in the second year, and it usually lasts about 3 quarters, I believe, 3 to 4 quarters. The reason that ours is a little bit shorter, I can't speak to other programs too much, but I would personally say it's because of our quarter system. We don't have like big summer breaks in between where other programs may, which I think extends the time a little bit. For us, you do have like 2, 3 weeks in between each quarter, but you're basically doing the program whole year round. So I think that cuts a little bit of time.
Thank you so much.
Nice. Feel free to drop questions in the chat as well if you guys have any questions for Diller as an alumni. Stephen?
Thanks. Yeah, I do have a couple of other questions. One is, so with the virtual program, uh, would you be in the same class as students who are in person? So like you're kind of the face on the screen and other people are in person?
For the online program, not usually. You're usually in a cohort that's all doing online. So everyone's kind of just home.
Okay, cool. And how for the online, we do come to campus like once or twice a year, am I right about that? Or
So you do have to complete 2 in-person residencies as a part of the online program, and those happen in your second and fourth quarters. Those are 1 week in length, and they do happen in the Bay Area. Other than those 2 residencies, everything will be online.
that's in the second and fourth quarter? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, Ivy says, is it possible to find online internship opportunities for the second year, or is it necessary to be on site? It is possible to find online internship opportunities. I would say it's a little less common. It's a little bit harder to get those positions, but it's definitely possible. And it's not all the way necessary for it to be on site, although we do recommend it so you have some in-person experience. No worries.
Hi, it's Brenda here. I was curious, is there an opportunity to like add an elective to the program, like maybe studying art in therapy or equine services in therapy? Is there an opportunity like that at all?
If you're doing a regular clinical mental health counseling program, then you do have the option to do, I believe it's 2 or 3 elective courses. You think you have an option between about 6 or so classes that you can choose from. And I do believe either art or play therapy is one of the options. If you go on our website and actually look at our curriculum plan, then you can see all those electives at the bottom of the page.
I see, but they're set electives. They're not ones that you could bring into the program yourself. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
of course. Oh, okay, I see. That was the question in the chat. Thank you so much, Diller, for bringing that up. Awesome. Any other questions?
Yes, do the students learn GPT and CBT details during the program?
Yeah, Diller, do you want to speak to that at all?
So for my time, yeah, we learn and so able to practice all different intervention and theory in class. There is I don't exactly remember the class name, but what's that?
Yeah, cognitive behavioral
Not
theory.
just it's specifically designed for CBT or DBT, but the class the first year you learn all different theories, and the professor help us you to utilize those techniques to mock client at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm actually in my first quarter, and it's counseling theories, Diller, that we are learning all the different theories. CBT is included in that class, so you do learn how to a lot about the theory and then how to actually practice it with all different types of clients. Thank you for that question. Catherine.
It's gonna sound a little, well, I'm the first in my family to actually apply for a master program or like for any of this experience. So is there any way like there's workshops for like applications or how to write like a personal essay or things like that?
That's a great question. We have an application deep dive that gives you a little bit more information on how to complete our specific application. But I'm always here to answer any questions. If you have any questions throughout the application process, I was actually the first in my family to do that as well, so I definitely feel you on that. And again, if you do have any questions about that, I will always be available for you, but I can send over that webinar to your email if you'd like.
Tanya, I have another question. So after one completes the master's program, they're looking at the 3,000 hours. How is that arranged through the university, or how's that done? Who sets that up?
Yeah, so that's going to be through the state, actually, through the actual licensing body that you are interested in. Once you graduate from our program, your licensing will be a separate entity from us. We set you up to meet the educational requirements, but once you're meeting all those post-grad requirements, that's going to be through the state licensing board.
I'm curious to know how that works.
Yeah, if you go to the California behavioral sciences website, I think it should say, everything that you need to know on there. And I'll put the link in the chat as well if you want to look into that a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Natanya, did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it perfectly, actually.
Awesome.
So I guess I have two questions. The first question is, what is the process for getting placement for internship and practicum when you're doing the hybrid program and you're out of state?
That's a really great question. Diller, are you out of state by chance? No? Okay.
I'm in California.
Okay, perfect. You can actually speak to that either way because it's the exact same process. Diller, would you like to walk us through what that was like for you?
So not sure about out of state process, but in state California, when you in my time, like 3 years ago, that was a platform, Tivera, the platform, the school listed the practicum and internship of placements. You can see hybrid or in person, and and that your practicum supervisor, help you to figure it out the way. So you can get a huge amount of help there, from professors like your supervisor at school.
Awesome, thank you. And then my second question is, I noticed on the CapCrep website is that you guys, I guess the expiration for accreditation is the 31st of 2026. So I guess, could you tell me a little bit about the renewal process? Just because, I want you guys to be renewed by the time I graduate.
Yeah, we are in the process of getting it renewed. So we don't expect there to be any issues with that process. There hasn't been too many changes being made, but we make sure that we're meeting all of those requirements to be able to be KCREP accredited again. So there's nothing to worry about. We'll still be KCREP accredited, I'm sure. But if you want to talk about that more in depth, we can also email.
Awesome. Thank you.
Flavia?
Hi. Yeah, I had a question. I understood that for the counseling theories course that you learn about theories and then you also have like little mock sessions where you practice that. I'm just wondering how that looks like if you're doing the program online. Do you just go in little breakout rooms and then you do mock counseling sessions there? Because, I can imagine it in person, how that would look like. I just wanted to get a feel of what that might look like online.
Yeah, since I'm in the first quarter, I can tell you what my experience has been, and Diller, maybe you can speak to it more, further into the program. As of right now, I'm in the online program, and for counseling theories specifically, we're not doing too much role playing yet. I think we're mainly just discussing theories, and it is a lot of breakout groups, a lot of discussion, and also figuring out ways to actually apply those theories to different populations, what things to consider, things to keep in mind, and things like that. But I would probably guess that Diller is going to say it's breakout groups for the majority of the time.
Yeah, the Zoom, if you are in the hybrid program, the Zoom has a option to send the students to breakout rooms. So you have the professor already matched the students for the breakout rooms. You go breakout rooms, you know what you're gonna do at the breakout rooms, do with your partner, and return to main room after you finish that. So when you come to the last year of your master program, school has different, I don't remember exactly the website name, the program that allow you to record your response as a therapist. There is the client question and your turn as a therapist to record your answer, and then you submit your response to that website, and your internship and instructor evaluate after that. They give you feedback. So, but it depends on also other classes. For example, with the marriage and couples therapy class. So what my professor made a group also. We made a turn as a client, one partner, another partner, and we did a mock session, and as well as record that session to submit as an assignment during that class.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Perfect. We're gonna let Diller go in about 5 minutes, so she has a meeting at 4, but I will stay until 5 if you guys have specific questions for me. But if you have questions for Diller, please voice them now. Elvie? Oh, I think you're still muted.
Hi, hear me? I think the question is more for you. The hybrid program, what does the schedule look like during the week? Like when does the students come in and when are they online?
Yeah, so for the hybrid program, it's a full-time program for the most part. So you're going to be taking 3 classes. Each of those classes are going to meet once a week, either from 4 to 6 or 6 to 8, depending on the cohort that you choose. And all classes will be held either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So 3 of those 4 days, and they do switch around from quarter to quarter, depending on the class that you're taking. I believe for the hybrid, it's either at least one class that's in person, possibly maybe 2, but my understanding is that it's usually 1.
Awesome. And one more, what's the average class size?
Yeah, so each cohort's about 24 students, and your cohort is going to be, for a majority of the time, those are going to be the same 24 students that you're going to take classes with for the entire duration of the program.
Thank you.
Fauna.
Hi, this question is more for you, Tanya, and it's about for prospective students. For those who are in transition from in career changes, what's well, maybe I'll just be specific in my instance. So, I'm currently volunteering at the Crisis Connection, and I would like to apply for the fall term this year. Um, is it recommended that I get a referral from my volunteer place, or would it be from someone, my former employer?
Yeah, you can do either or, honestly. If you think that your volunteer place can speak to maybe some of that, just the experience that you've had there a little bit better, then you can definitely do that. If you want to do your employer, again, it's really personal preference, and kind of who you think can speak more to maybe what's more relevant to the program specifically. Um,
And just for employer, just to clarify, could it be former employers? Because if you're currently not employed, then
yeah,
is it? Yeah.
Any employer that has supervised you to any capacity, it can also be a past professor. Yeah, anyone like that.
Okay. And then as far as like the volunteer, I mean, is there like a minimum, like, for some programs, they want you to have like a year worth of like in-field experience?
We do not have a minimum for a volunteer experience. No, so you should be fine.
Okay. Thanks.
Tanya?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any requirements about certain classes in psychology that you need to take before entering the school?
We don't have any strict requirements on courses you need to take beforehand, but we do recommend taking developmental psychology, physiological psychology, or biological psychology, and then personality or abnormal psychology, as well as statistics if you can. Those are optional though. It's just to kind of give you a head start.
Yeah, that's good. I'm taking abnormal and I'm gonna take biological this summer.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's super helpful before the start of the program.
Thank
Jocelyn?
you.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, Tanya. Couple questions for you if we still have time. For the cohort, like the time slot, do we have any agency in that, or is it just you're assigned whatever is available? Because I know there's probably a lot of people trying to get in.
Yeah, so once you get accepted into the program, you're gonna get sent a form where you will put your preferences for your cohort. So the timing of the cohort, and then once you're actually put into that cohort, they'll just email you your final results. But usually it's your first choice.
Okay, awesome. And then I was wondering about the deadline for the fall start this year. The PSY CAS website, it said July, but then it said May 1st, and I was like, oh no, I thought I had until July.
Yeah.
Am I too late or?
I don't know. I'm not sure why I would say May 1st. That might be a glitch, but it's July 20th. That's going to be the deadline.
Okay, good.
Okay. Awesome. Any other questions? I know Diller has to go in a second, so.
I had one question.
Yeah.
I was wondering about job placement after the program coursework ends. I just wanted to see if you can talk about that process at all.
Diller, do you have a second to speak to that?
Yeah. Okay, very quickly. I'm an after school program ended. So school alumni group shares some work opportunity as a newsletter if you find maybe those placement good for you. So that's one way to see available opportunity. Other than that, the other professional platforms like LinkedIn and type of places give you idea available positions. So yeah, there is an interview process. Usually takes about 3 meetings to finalize your position at that placement. So yeah, there are many options like as the other alumni share, forensic or intensive care units or hospital and positions like Kaiser has also hire also a mental health therapist. Other than that, school district has a position and private clinics. So it's up to your interest. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it sounds like it's more individually directed rather than a
Yes.
formal
Yes.
placement.
Yes,
Okay, got it.
or more individually directed.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, Tanya, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences with all of you today. It has been a privilege to reflect on my journey and offer insight that I hope will be valuable to some of you guys. Thank you for your attention, and Tanya for creating this space for meaningful and dialogue and exchange. I have to leave.
No worries.
So
Thank you so much, Diller, for being here.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I will stay back for a few minutes, but if you have to go, I totally understand. Thank you so much.
thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Awesome. If anyone else has any questions, let me stop recording. I will stick around until like a few minutes after 5. Feel free to ask your questions.